This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. While Ford could be headed back to India, it stopped selling vehicles there in 2021 and ended production in 2022. It sold one of its 2 locations to Tata, but the chief minister of the Indian state where the other plant is located posted on social media that they had a discussion with a team at Ford about renewing their partnership. While India has the potential to be a massive growth market for automakers and is a reason why so many are investing there, it doesn't sound like Ford would make vehicles for India. They would likely be exported. I also wonder if Ford sees its India plant as an asset for Chinese automakers to produce models so they could potentially avoid new import tariffs. And to be fair, Ford never completely left India. It has suppliers there and builds engines for the Ranger. In other Ford news, its EV owners can get paid to unplug. It teamed up in California to help reduce demand on the electrical grid during peak hours by allowing Ford to automatically pause their charging. Owners will earn $1 for every kilowatt hour of energy reduced during those peak times. Lucid held a technology and manufacturing day yesterday where it revealed details about upcoming models. It says it will start making production versions of the Gravity SUV later this year, and that model will get Tesla's next charging connector next year. The company has started production on a new manufacturing site in Saudi Arabia, which is where its majority owner is located. It says the plant will start making EVs in 2026 and eventually have the capacity to make 150,000 vehicles a year. But that's way more than it currently needs. Lucid expects to make about 9,000 vehicles this year. But 2026 is when it also plans to launch its all-new midsize model. That vehicle will feature Lucid's next-gen drive unit called Atlas. CEO Peter Rawlinson says it will be smaller, lighter, more cost-effective, and be much more efficient than its competition. It will make less power as well. Lucid says around 335 horsepower, compared to the 670 horsepower its current drive unit makes. But it could also make its way into the Gravity and the Air to give Lucid even lower priced options. The new midsize will also help with a starting price under $50,000. Honda is sharing an update about its progress on its EV hub in Ohio. The automaker is retooling its Marysville and East Liberty assembly plants and its Anna engine plant to prepare for its upcoming EVs. The changes will allow it to produce gas, hybrid, and electric vehicles on the same lines. A model based on the Acura Performance EV concept, which debuted at the Monterey Car Week this year, will be the first EV to go into production at the Marysville plant in late 2025. Honda says it has also started installing the first of 6 6,000-ton die-cast machines. The mega castings make up the cases for the intelligent power unit, which houses the EV battery and serves as part of the structure of the vehicle. Honda is investing $700 million to retool the plants, and it's also building a $3.5 billion battery plant in Ohio with LG Energy Solution. And Stellantis is also retooling plants in the U.S. to produce electrified and ICE models on the same line, and announced it's investing more than $400 million at 3 plants in Michigan to do so. The automaker confirmed its Sterling Heights plant will be the first to build a fully electric vehicle in the U.S., the Ram 1500 REV, which launches at the end of this year. That plant will also produce the range-extended and ICE version of the Ram 1500 as well. Its Warren Truck plant will make an electrified Jeep Wagoneer that launches next year, along with ICE versions of the vehicle and the Grand Wagoneer. And lastly, the Dundee engine plant will be retooled to make components for batteries while still building ICE engines.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Last week, Volkswagen sent shockwaves through the auto industry, warning it could shut down plants in Germany due to slumping sales, which would be the first time in its history. and it just scrapped a jobs guarantee that was supposed to protect workers until 2029 at 6 plants in Germany, which paves the way for job cuts that could start in the middle of next year. VW says it may need to close as many as 2 plants in Germany because its sales are down about 500,000 units since the COVID pandemic. But we think it could be more plants. VW has the capacity to make about 14 million vehicles, but last year it made roughly 9 million. Not surprisingly, labor unions and VW works councils have vowed to put up a fierce resistance to any plant closures. So, this could turn into an ugly battle. But it's not just VW that's struggling in Europe. Car sales in the region are down about 3 million units from pre-COVID levels, and that means automakers have had to significantly cut production. According to Just Auto data, nearly a third of plants from Europe's 5 largest automakers, VW, Stellantis, BMW, Mercedes, and Renault, last year produced less than half of the vehicles that they have the capacity to make. That means those plants are likely losing money, so jobs are going to be at risk. But the auto industry is very important to Europe's economy, accounting for over 7% of the EU's gross domestic product and employing 13 million people. So this is why some European countries are trying to lure Chinese companies to open plants and help preserve those jobs. Pedestrian fatalities have gone up sharply over the last decade in the U.S. Between 2013 and 2022, pedestrian deaths increased 57% from almost 4,800 to over 7,500. So, to help reduce that, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, proposed new rules to require all passenger vehicles 10,000 pounds or less to be designed to mitigate pedestrian deaths and injuries. The standard would establish test procedures and requirements that simulate and reduce head injuries for children all the way up to adults. NHTSA estimates that the standard will save 67 lives a year and will cost the auto industry roughly $50 to $60 million. Renault is helping to determine the condition of roads in France by literally listening to the sounds that they make. It says the difference in road noise between a good piece of pavement and a bad one can vary by a factor of 1 to 10. So Renault is using the sensors on a car, an especially developed device called Apache, to map the acoustic condition of roads. 30 Megans will measure noise levels in a region of France over a 2-year period, which local authorities can use to determine the condition of the roads. But no word if it plans to expand tests to other areas. And here's something for fans of classic Citroen design. First, the CX, which was designed to replace the iconic DS, is celebrating its 50th anniversary. So congrats. And second, the DS brand, which is also under the Stellantis umbrella, showed a concept that's inspired by the Citroen SM of the early 1970s. It has similar proportions as the original and gets that funky rear end, but it uses a 2-tone paint job to break up the design. I especially like the cover over the rear wheels. It's a styling element you rarely see anymore. But that brings us to the end of today's show. I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. MEDC, where Michigan businesses are powering the future of mobility. And by Teages Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Developing today's vehicles, issues can happen in an instant. What good is knowing your problems without the data to solve them? Meet Wireless Neovi Cloud, your secure off-the-shelf solution, empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless Neovi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA. allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless Nearby Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
Electric vehicle economy.
Forget the political noise. EVs mean good American jobs. Tens of thousands of manufacturing jobs. Right here, right now in Michigan. And more on the way with billions in new investment. Want those jobs in China instead? We don't. We're the American EV Jobs Alliance. We say electric vehicles are a big part of the future, and we want those jobs in America. So remember, when politicians bash EVs, America loses. Paid for by the American EV Jobs Alliance.
Knowing that a little rain won't slow down your day. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Turanza Quiet Track tires. Confident control in wet conditions.
When we did our research for the talent that we need for this program, Michigan was really the top of the list. In order to be successful in this space, you really have to have the right people, the right mindset, the right environment.